Nintendo gave us a cool little surprise in the form of the NES Classic Edition. The Mini NES, that sold out immediately, has 30 classic games on it that are pretty awesome. Mega Man 2, Zelda, and Super Mario Bros. 3 are some of the video game staples you can play. We sincerely hope that the success of the NES Classic Edition will inspire Nintendo to do a mini version of the Super Nintendo. We have so many fond memories of that console. In case they decide to make one, here are 10 games that must be on the SNES Mini.
Pizza time!
It's pizza time! There's nothing quite like kicking the ass of foot ninjas with a few of your closest friends. Unfortunately, each new attempt at a Turtles game has fallen short in recent years. That's what makes revisiting Turtles in Time still worth it. This classic beat-em-up is short and the gameplay is pretty repetitive, but that doesn't make it any less fun to play. Turtles in Time is just such a wonderfully polished, personality-packed little piece of video game history. He's on fire! Remember when sports games were all about fun? NBA Jam Tournament Edition is a 90s arcade classic that took nearly every rule of the game and threw it out the window. The cartoony, over-the-top style of this game is what makes it so accessible to everybody. It is just a 2-on-2 basketball game, but with insanely high dunks, crazy field goal percentage, and almost no rules.
Monster Jam! Yeah!
We also have to mention the announcers who have great lines like Razzle Dazzle, He's on fire, and Boom Shakalaka. Nintendo got a lot of things right on the first try, and Super Mario Kart is no exception. While each new Mario Kart sequel has added features and looked better, everything that made these improvements possible can be found in the original. Conquering Super Mario Kart single-player cup competitions was fun, but it was in split-screen multiplayer where the game really excelled. With the best battle mode the series has ever had, Super Mario Kart is one of the console party games that can't be missed. So Nintendo should give us the option to hook up 2 controllers to the SNES Mini, if they ever decide to make it. Street Fighter 2 Turbo is an excellent showcase of why everyone fell in love with the fighting franchise in the first place. It was faster than the original console port, hence the turbo in the title, which was a major selling point for fans. This version of the game also included numerous changes to the characters' movesets and combos, while adding a new number of fighters to the fray. In our book, Street Fighter 2 Turbo remains the definitive fighting game on Super Nintendo.
You win!
The 3D-esque graphics of Donkey Kong Country blew our minds back in the day, and really pushed the Super Nintendo to its limits. While the original was better known for its graphics than its gameplay, Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy Kong's Quest was the complete package. The improved level design and a greater sense of variety makes it barrels of fun to play. It also had a swinging soundtrack so catchy that we still remember every song in the game. Diddy Kong's Quest perfected the blueprint from which it was spawned. sometimes you just want to pick up a spread gun and blast everything to bits. For those times, it's good to have a copy of Contra 3, The Alien Wars, ready to go. This sequel fast-forwarded the action to the distant future and improved not only the aesthetics, but also the scope and storyline of the game. It did all this while maintaining the run-and-gun appeal of the original. Though there have been plenty of knockoffs since, very few games come close to the instant fun Contra 3 delivers. We can't even remember how many times we completed this game in the co-op mode with a friend. The Super Nintendo is home to some of the best RPGs ever made, and Chrono Trigger is definitely one of them. The game was assembled by a dream team of creative talent from the Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, and Dragon Ball franchises. The story about time travel hooked us from the start and brought some great gameplay with it. Not only did you see the world and its inhabitants evolve as you hop through time, but based on your actions, the story would change too. With the mind-blowing option to replay the game and discover new endings, Chrono Trigger has a rightful place in the role-playing Hall of Fame. Super Metroid is one of the most atmospheric games on the Super Nintendo. With hints of space-bound horror movies like Alien in its long, creepy corridors, the visuals completely sucked us in. The tense, brooding music and terrifying enemy encounters scared the hell out of us. Super Metroid also perfected its formula of getting upgrades and returning to areas you previously couldn't reach. The same formula has been used in countless games since, but it's definitely the most pure here. Super Metroid is a wonderfully paced game about exploration and discovery that still holds up today. Super Mario World is one of the best launch titles in the history of gaming. The extra power of the Super Nintendo allowed Miyamoto to perfect his platforming ideas that started on the NES. Mario World didn't reinvent platform gaming, but it did find a way to make it seem fresh again. The very original level design and great additions like Yoshi made it a joy to play. The truly excellent visuals and audio fulfilled the expectations of fans about the Super Nintendo right at its birth. Nintendo really knocked it out of the park with this one. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past is such a good game that many gamers consider it to be their favorite game of all time. Nintendo took the formula laid out in the original NES release and transformed it into something really quite magical. Players started out in regular old Hyrule, but would soon visit a parallel dark world. This essentially doubled the overworld map and transformed the landmarks and dungeons. A Link to the Past featured some truly ingenious puzzles and was absolutely bursting with secrets. It also boasts some of the series' finest dungeons and most challenging bosses. A true masterpiece if we ever saw one. Are you also hoping for the announcement of the SNES Mini? And what games would you like to see on it? Let us know in the comments, and please like this video and subscribe to the channel.